Good morning and welcome to OptionsTender. It's Thursday, June 26th, 2025. So we just went over SPX on the lower time frames, did kind of a channeling lesson. And, this is for $4.99 members. If you're interested in that, we do all sorts of videos each and every day, just to teach and go over the trade alerts that are in the Discord. So lots of good stuff that we had since we have some time while the market's grinding. We're so close to all-time highs. If we tag it, so be it. If not, I think this move is almost done no matter what. So we're going to go through. I'm going to show you all the indicators on the daily time frame and the 65-minute. If you're new here, that's what we do each and every day, so we can learn these indicators. I have this set up top here that we go through. And what I want to focus on is on SPY. We'll go on the daily time frame, and I'll show you the bull-bear scenario. Now, we've done it over and over on the 65-minute, but I want to show you what that looks like on the daily time frame. Whether you're bull or bear, no matter what, I do think you're going to get some sort of pullback. And if we make all-time highs, I want to show you what that wave count is and how we're looking at things. Okay. And I have something, I've shown it before, but I have something for the ultra bulls too. So those of you that are looking for a new bull market. All right. And no, I have not turned into a bull. I had somebody ask me in the Discord, are you a bullish yet? And I said, no, absolutely not. We're looking for a top. We're looking for a bull market top. No matter if we make a new high or not, we had these historic trend lines that we go through on the weekly time frame over and over. And if you look at 2000, you look at a lower high, and then you get your stock market crash. And if you're looking at 2007 going into 8, you're looking at just a new peak and then the crash. Okay, so Jeff in our Discord, as helpful as he always is, measured 2007 the top to be about 1% from the high previously. I didn't go back and check that, but I believe him. And so that would take us on SPX. If we're talking about 6147, I believe is the all-time high. We're talking about 6,200 being that target. So whether you're all-time highs or not, you're looking at a pretty limited range. And then we have this again, the trend line up above at about 6,250 or 60. Depending on where we get to. So, just so limited. The risk reward to the downside is tremendous. And by the way, I didn't think I'd really have to explain it, but I'm not even sure that some people that comment on YouTube actually watch the videos, but maybe they do. That's fantastic. I appreciate you. But why do I use, I saw somebody said, why do I use the word crash all the time? And, it's really just the algorithms. It's what people search, the search engines. People search for stock market crashes, and so that's why I put crash. And when we're in we've been in a rally mode, but I have not clearly been bullish at all. And so when we're in a bull market, for example, here we're looking for stock market rally, stock market rally, stock market rally. And then up here, I was stock market crash, stock market crash. I think I started right here for the stock market crash. And we started catching all these divergences. And so that's the language that I use when I'm looking for rallies or crashes. And yeah, that's early back here. I do get in pretty early looking for divergences. The distribution does not have to look like this, okay? It can turn on a dime if it wants to. It can go through this whole thing. So I do remember, I know I'm going on a little bit more of a tangent here, but I wasn't planning on this. The Corona crash, I remember I guess you can call that distribution, but I remember grinding up in this over and over and over. And wherever I started saying crash and we're getting reversal, we just kept going. And I was on vacation in Quebec for Pee-wees for the one of our hockey sons. We had to travel to Quebec, and I remember this just crashing. I said, I knew it was coming. The divergences were there, and just ripped, and kept going. I'm like, holy cow, honey, she doesn't pay attention to the stock market, but she pays attention to what I say. And I said, something's coming, and it sure did. And same thing with back here, a stock market crash, and it's inevitable that it happens. The indicators are very good at catching them, but the timing is what is very, very difficult in doing so. So anyway, we're still in this resistance zone. Yeah, by the way, if we're doing this intraday about 11:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. It's 99 cents per month. And that comes with the Discord and the trade alerts. And then if you want to go a step above, that's $4.99. And that's where we describe all of those trade alerts that we do and give you a reason why I do them. So you can choose to do them or not. That's obviously trading. You have to do your own research. And, I can tell you why I took my trade and what the setup was. Very important. So this could easily keep gapping up, grinding. We're probably done for the day moving in this candle. They'll probably be very small candles, very similar to this. When you're in this distribution phase, you just kind of go up and up and up. And so with this high here, we got on top of that and we're above it. Now we're working on this high. Okay. And then our next high is right there. So let's see what price action does. Either way, we're building up divergences, and that's what we're here to do today, is just to look at those indicators here. So let's jump into it, you guys. Again, we're in the resistance area with the moving averages. We're above them. We're in a positive posture, bull posture right here, and we're into resistance. So that's what I keep talking about. We just made a new divergent high right here once again, over and over and over. How many times can I say that? Well, as many times as it takes, because just like the previous distribution, price was way up here, and you had the negative divergence way down here, and you finally got your big move here. All right, and then a little consolidation, and then the crash type action after that. So negative divergences are happening. This is not a game. They're going to play out. This is a great indicator. And the summation index, I went over that with the members yesterday. Again, we usually do that once a week here on this channel for the public. And we're forming this channel that's heading lower. In other words, the market breadth, the large cap stocks are holding up the market, and when those give up, everything is gonna just fall. All right, we're trying to get this crossover, a bullish crossover here, but we're still just in this negative divergence. Okay, waiting for that to curl over. And we talked about the slow stochastic here, that rolling over, and that will probably set the top there this time. And so whether it oscillates for a little bit of time, like this one over here, it could do that. But by the time we cross back under this 80 mark, that should be where we have our top, whether it's higher, a new all-time high, or lower. So we already made an all-time high in NDX and QQQ. So, that's fine. One can make a new high, and the other, it doesn't have to, but it sure can. Okay, D-Mark. All right, we're at an 8 count here, 1, 2, 3, and then a 8 in the red. We have the 9 count. It could be a 9, 9, 13. That's a setup as well. We're not there yet. Awesome oscillator. Negative divergence, getting a little positive move here. But this will be clearly, even if you end up counting this, and we're going to talk about this as a 1, 2, 3, or 3 up here, 4, 4, and then 5. We're still looking for this to end here, and we're looking at this lower degree wave 3 into a lower degree wave 5, which would be a wave 3 in here as well, into 4, into 5. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but we have on your lower degrees, you have 3, 4, and 5, which ends the higher degree wave 3, 4, and 5. And that's what the oscillator is telling us, okay? And let's go over to SPY. Get that money flow index. It uses volume, so I'll go back to this chart here. I was working on that, looking at things. Money flow index. We want to go to the divergent page. I have everything. There we go. All right, so these divergences are very, very good indicator of reversals, even hidden divergences in there. We're just forming another divergence. I know it's going a little higher. It still can, but we get that negative divergence here as we go. Boom. And this will end up playing out. It takes time sometimes. You have this top here, got all the way down, formed a positive divergence, made a new high, but made a negative divergence here, corrected, made a new divergence there. And that took over 3 months to occur. Okay? Took over 3 months. This was on May 19th. I called a top here on the May 19th. Well, not the top, but a top. All right. And then ended up, going higher over a month. So we're at about 6 weeks, I want to say, 5 or 6 weeks. And that's, I wouldn't say that's unusual. Forming these divergences, it's going to play out whether it makes a new high or not. Bollinger Band, we have the sell signal. All right. Even if you sold yesterday, the day before, we have the signal that will reverse. It may take 4-5 days after you get that signal, but it's certainly a setup. And for all of you that are playing, your day or two weekly expirations, and I'm sorry that these aren't working out. I have a couple that I did and they didn't work out, but I know that risk. Okay, so I have a few that are a couple weeks out. Maybe those play out, maybe those don't. But I tell you what, if we start to get above all-time highs, it's still a short for me. That's not going to change. A volume shelf, the LA oscillator. That's what the. Sorry, I think I spoke about the awesome oscillator, but they're so similar. They say the same thing. Wave 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So that's what it's telling you. Now, we went through the indicators, so let's go ahead while we're on the daily. Let's look at the bear case, and we're just so close to all-time highs. We're above that mark that I told you, 598.50. I don't know if that's perfect, but 598 was a very important spot there, and we got above, we gapped above it. And we're going. So it's, maybe we hit all-time highs. Maybe it just stops us right below it. And that would be very cruel. But so we're right there. This is still a C wave. We have an expanded move here. A, B, C. Okay. That's how that is. On the bullish sense, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the bearish because that's what I spend most of the time on this public channel. So here's the bullish and the super bullish. Okay, so on my point of view, if we make a brand new high here, this is going to be, can't see it right now. This is going to be wave 5. Done. Okay, you have an ABC into 1. ABC 2, this is an expanded ending diagonal. ABC into 3. I don't know where my 3 is up there. There it is. 3. And then an ABC into 4. And then I believe ABC into 5. Okay. So either way, we're counting this as an ABC. Excuse me, I said that wrong. No, that's right. So this would be an ABC in this expanded move here. So either way, we're looking for a top here. If President Trump is correct and he says buy and we're going much, much higher, then this will just be the first A wave. So we make a brand new high. And this doesn't go away even if we don't make all-time highs. Okay, so this is a scenario for the very bullish case no matter what. Even if we drop right now and don't make those all-time highs, then we have this scenario still to play out. So for your ultra bulls, this would be your A, and then you get your B. Now that B, I wouldn't suspect that it came that deep. I would imagine you have this Fibonacci cluster and the 382 from this move. Because this is an expanding move, and if this is going to go to 700, 800, wherever it goes, 700 would be our target, then we probably correct some sort of B wave, very bullish, and we continue to move higher in another impulse 5-wave move. Okay? So that's the ultra bull and the all-time high, just barely bull. All right? And let's see here. We don't need this one. That's our retracement. Yes, we do. I'll clean that up later. Okay, so you have both scenarios there. And then the VIX is going to change if that is the case where we go a little bit higher. So right now we're at that trend line that's held so wonderfully. And we're starting to pierce through it. And we're so close to the low here. And if we make all-time highs in SPY, we could definitely, it's a possibility we can make new lows here. And we'd move our kind of expanding move. Not pretty, but it could be wedge after wedge after wedge as well, however you want to draw it. If we make a new low, then that's what we'll be looking for there. Okay, so again, no matter what, with this cycle, if this cycle's still on, we're in the zone for a low. I know it's pushing out just a little bit. We have 624. So if you give about 4 days in there, then your gap, 4 days plus or minus, and that's 628. So going into the weekend, we might have a low tomorrow. Maybe we make another low, make that low tomorrow. Being a bullish free Friday, right? So the market would probably then make a new all-time high and make a new low there. All right, so that's what that would look like. And then SPY on the 65. So again, our bearish would just be, we're just going to undercut just a touch, not make that all-time high. And then you have your AB, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know what I was redoing something here, but the yeah, so that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this all one move as 5. I don't know what I was trying to fix there, but I definitely can see that this is. Let's change this right now. 1, 2. So this is A, B, 1, 2. This wave 3 in here. We'll just leave it purple. This would be a 4. Excuse me. Four, and all of this move would be a 5. Now, if we made all-time highs, this is what we went through today in SPX, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we made that all-time high, then that changes this because this would be, this would be the shortest wave. Wave 5 can't be longer than wave 3 because wave 1 is the extension right now. It's the longest wave. So this whole thing would change if we made all-time highs. Okay, but this is our bearish count so far. And all we're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just quickly, I'm not going to go through all this lesson that we did earlier. Boom, channel. We're at the channel top. I know that's not perfect. And then we have a possible top coming in there. And then your extension. Boom, boom. There, down to there. And we're just about at that point. So there's your bearish scenario. And then for the bullish, excuse me, I call it last wave because I don't think all-time highs are going to be seen again if it does make it past all-time highs. Okay, so yes, this could be a 1, 2, and we continue to grind higher for 3, and we get a little wave 4, and then a wave 5, where 1 is the longest, and we lose momentum. 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be really tiny. And that happened back in 2022 when the top was happening there. We barely made this new high. It was with wave 4 and 5 just really tiny in there. So the bullish count, you have 5-wave move, 1, 2, and then all of this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 3, and then 4, and then your extension here. However you're counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so either way, this is looking to end soon. Again, I must have borrowed my Elliott wave count, so sorry about that. Since you're looking at this would be wave 3. I borrowed these, that's what it was. 4, and then 5 would be up here somewhere, wherever it is. All right. Wave 5. And so that would work out. And then let me get that out of there. That would work out with this wave count because your 3 wave is all of this. And your 5 has much more room to go if it needed to. So however that plays out. And for your ultra bulls, that would be your wave 1. All right. And then you have to hold the lows and go much, much higher. Okay, now let's just look at the traditional look here. And let's roll through these indicators. Still positive, looking positive on the moving averages. Oops. There's your indicator. So we made a new high from this point here, but we're divergent from this point. Okay. And so what we're looking for is either this finishing somehow, maybe that 4 or 5, like I said, and then this getting a divergent high. Doesn't have to, but the same thing. We already burned through this high here, so we don't have a divergence there. All right, so we'd be looking for possible divergence in this next move. So again, maybe we find that 4 back into the options expected move. Maybe tomorrow's just a little bit negative, and then Monday gap up or whatever, however many days it grinds back to the upside and closes that gap. That's the gap from the all-time high there. All right, so that's what that would look like, and we'd get a curl over on the slow stochastic. So everything's looking positive at this point on this lower time frame. So at this point, I don't have any reason to think it won't hit all-time highs either directly or, again, that 1, 2, smaller 3, little 4, and then a 5 to make the all-time highs. And that's 613, 613 something up there. All right. So the D mark, we got the 9 correction there, even though it was a little early. Got the correction, and we're continuing. Maybe we get another 9 count up here. We're at 4. Awesome oscillator. So in this near term, we made this new high here. So clearly none of this has any divergence. None of this is showing signs of quitting. Even though we have on the higher time frames all of these things finishing, we don't have any indications of this last leg finishing. Okay, and that doesn't mean that it spikes 3-4 more percent. That just means, we're looking for probably a little correction and then some divergences form. All right, and there's those historic highs that are at about 62 to 6,300. I know that's a wide range, but I'm not going to calculate it out right now. And so those highs as well come into play if the market keeps grinding higher. All right, money flow. If this continues to go, then what's going to happen is we're going to take this off. If this does pull back, like I think it should, and then create divergence a little higher, then we're probably going to get into that overbought territory here, and that will be another great setup. Okay, so on this lower time frame, I don't have any setup to the downside. It does look like it looks like you have a 1, 2, possibly. Honestly, it looks like a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wave 3 could be ending here. All right, and then on the higher degree, wave 4, and then 5. And that should get our divergence. So with an Elliott, I know you can't see the 1, 2 here, but this red candle was a 1, and then you got that 2 to make a higher low, and then all of this was 5 waves, and then a 4, maybe even close the gap, and then a 5 to close that gap up top. So in the near term, we shouldn't have a very big drop here. It does look like we're going to go to all-time highs in this very near term. And no setup here. We had the sell, and it was a sideways correction. Maybe we come down to close the gap. There's the options expected move, which would be typical. That's where we get our TT trades, our theoretical trades. It's typical to get back into the options expected move, or at least on it. All right, since we already made it past it. Again, Friday could be here, and that would bring us back to this 20. Had that sell signal, and then maybe we go up higher and reach those Bollinger Bands. They already expanded on this lower time frame. They were really shallow. Expanded on that gap up, which that's an island gap, and then they should start to contract again as price corrects and goes up higher, and then we'll get our sell signal. We don't have that right now. Again, this is over here. That's not a divergent high. It burned through it. That's the terminology. And then the Elliott wave, once again, everything is bearish on the higher time frames. This already had its correction. That had its 3 and a 5 here, and this one does not. I do believe there's a structure right there that has to play out. And then so on this one, and this is why we do this every single day, you'll probably see this go wherever it needs to go, a little bit higher than this high, and then we'll see a divergent high, and that will be our top right there, whether we're at all-time highs or not. Okay, so let's look for that, and that's all I got for here. That's what we have, you guys. So we'll revisit this tomorrow. Maybe we get that correction tomorrow, and then we go into Monday or Tuesday forming. Maybe we get a turnaround Tuesday after reaching that all-time high. Maybe this grinds a little bit higher. Not sure how this is going to play out, but that all-time high is within a stone's reach here. It's right about here. And so that would, if it creates a divergence into that or a little bit higher, I think that will mark our top. Okay. Thanks for watching here at OptionsTender. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you watching these videos, and hopefully you're learning something. If so, I appreciate you.